Okay, so yesterday I was able to achieve a score of 5 trillion in World Boss with this team, but I was looking around at some videos online, and there's no reason why this team doesn't have 10 trillion in it with the level of my heroes. I'm not keen on doing a whole lot of manualing. I find it stressful and I don't enjoy it. So I don't think I'm going to get much higher than maybe 6 trillion since I'm not going to manual it. But now that Pris has got her upgraded unique weapon. Oh, hold on one second. Phone call coming in. Gonna pause. Okay, so bottom line is I originally had Vero in the team, and with Vero in the team, I was also able to achieve a score of 5 trillion. But in order to do that, I had to manual her, and I don't feel like manualing her. And I took her out, and I put a net back in there and did it, and I was able to achieve that score without doing any manualing other than on Audi and Laudia. I did a little bit of manualing on Pris and Lav, but predominantly it was on Laudia and Audi. And then I did another run where I took Ray out and I put Vero in, and my score was about 4.2, and that was also with manualing Vero. So I did another run in slow motion rather than the 1.5 you typically see me running at, and I was able to achieve a 4.8. So bottom line is my Vero is just not at the place where I think she's ready for prime time. She's a 1-star soul weapon, and she has all the UTs, but with the pocket watch from Ray on there, her T5 dark perk for all the additional cooldown, the S2 light perk for a 5-second reduction on her S2 that gives a rune to all the allies that lasts 12 seconds. She did have 100% uptime on that, which is the big challenge. And there is a UT you can run her with that extends the duration of that rune that increases boss damage and attack by at 0-star 1.7 seconds. But seeing as how she had 100% uptime on it with the pocket watch and her T5 dark and her snagging Audi's A2 soul weapon, it seemed unnecessary, so I went ahead and ran the rune for top financial knowledge, which increases everyone's crit damage by 20% and increases the attack boost by 50%. And since that stacks, I think 14 or 15 times with a 1-star unique weapon, she's slinging everybody like 100,000 attack, and then that's boosted by 50%. So it ends up being like 150,000 attack for everyone. But even with all of that, just the lack of cooldown that Ray's providing on the medley sheet, on her S3, all the mana that Ray is providing, the damage reduction that Ray is providing, and of course the attack that Ray provides on her S3 is 84,000 each time she fires it, and every time she fires it, it adds another 8,600 to that. So if she fires it, let's just say 15 times in a world boss battle, that's actually giving a 200,000 attack bonus almost to everybody, versus Vero's 150. So at the end of the day, even though Ray's A1 and A2 perks are more or less lost on us here, maybe it's only the A2, come to think of it. Yeah, it's just the A2. So the A2 is lost. The only one that's amping is Pris and herself. But the A0 and the A1 are definitely working with the attack speed and the 50% attack for everyone. And Ray's just wrecking with her soul weapon and all of her skills that she's bringing to the table here in World Boss. I mean, take a look at that. 8,400, and then each time you use it, another 84,000, excuse me. Then you get that mana recovery, which is huge on Laudia. You need so much mana. So this is the comp that I was able to consistently get to the 5 trillion mark with during my trial runs. without a whole lot of manualing and a whole lot of stress, and found it to be the most fun, which is really the reason I do World Boss, is for the fun. Now, what I will say is I'm a bit concerned about whether Laudia, with only 1 million attack, is going to snag Lav's Soul Link, because with her running this Blessing of Earth, that's a 58% increase to attack, and she's at 835 now, and I already removed some of her 4-line attack gears, so I kept these on right here for her. But bottom line is, with this boost here, that's going to be a whopping 38% higher than Lav's, and than Laudia's, and I was doing the math on that, because obviously Laudia lacks, Fallen Fray lacks that additional 20% perk from T2 that Laudia gets. So with her already having a base attack of about 200,000 higher, I'm hoping that that 20% from this perk will close the gap and allow her to get it. Otherwise, I'm going to have to remove even more of her attack gear over there on Fallen Fray to ensure that Laudia is getting Soul Link. So let's go ahead and see what happens. I'm going to do a quick rundown on the gear here. And this is what we're looking at as far as the heroes. And let me go ahead and switch that out. Give him attack as well. So high mana recovery on Audi. You've seen in my other World Boss videos. I want this bad boy always having S3 available, since I do manual him. Laudia also high mana recovery on attack, high attack speed. I did have May in the mix in place of Priscilla, and bottom line is Priscilla just brings so much more to the table than May. So this is our Pris build. Not a whole lot going on down here. Got a little bit of recovery, which will help her lifesteal. She doesn't have any built-in mana recovery on attack, so she's kind of losing out on the recovery on that front. Ideally, I would like this to be an attack and mana recovery on attack rune, but I don't have enough of them, and I've got those allocated everywhere I want them to be. So she doesn't have a whole lot of UTs for me to get additional lines on there with either. But that's my Pris. You already seen my Fallen Fray. Ooh, good thing I was looking at this. Let's go ahead and get her on attack as well, since her T5 Dark obviously brings some nice... Let's see, what's her mana recovery on attack at? Well, she doesn't have any, does she? So let's go ahead and give her a mana recovery on attack. Do I have one actually down here that I don't need to unequip somebody from, that has 3 lines of attack as well? Does not appear. So let's go back up here and take a look. That won't work. No. No. I guess this is my, this is it right here. So we'll go ahead and put that on her. And let's see here. Put this back on her as well. Ab Crown. And I'm going to change out her perks to this, since I don't really need additional CC reduction and I don't need overcharge duration. I might as well give her more attack, so that I'm giving this perk right here to everyone. So she'll probably be sitting pretty at, oh, I don't know, 650, something like that. And Ray, she's on attack gears primarily because I want her to snag Audi's A2. That way she's firing her S3 even more, stacking attacks, cooling down. Let's go ahead and change her treasure over here to the medley sheet, and her perks back over to a dispel for the boulders, and of course attack speed. I went ahead and sacrificed this 12% crit dam for all allies, because I thought I'd rather have a heal, and I'd rather have her getting mana and always being able to fire those skills, since she's on a rapid cooldown. Of course, I got this here too for some 75% RNG style cooldown. and this as well, which is going to additionally increase everyone's attack and defense. So Ray is just an incredible hero. And then lastly, we got a Celica. So Celica's fun. I kind of was going back and forth as to whether or not I should remove his M-Def or whether or not I should amp M damage. Tell you what, M damage amp is always where you want to go almost every single time, because it's not a 20% M defense reduction. It's actually just a 25,706 M def reduction, and it only lasts for 5 seconds. So at the end of the day, I'd rather take the 10% additional damage from her UT4, and went ahead and put her on an academic achievement there. Put the perk that applies the cooldown to the allies with the 2 highest attacks. So that means Frey and Laudia are going to both get a 20% cooldown, additional cooldown right there, and an additional attack boost. So that will scale well with both of them. And this here is always nice, removing attack every 7th stack rather than every 10th. And of course, this one increases the M-Def reduction effect by 5 seconds. So don't really need any P-Def on Laudia, so I figured why bother running T5 Dark. She's on pure defense build here. Okay? Pretty much pure defense build. So that's what you're looking at with her. She does have decent amount of P-Block, 51% chance. So that's why I've got some P-Block def on her as well. And that's my Laudia build. I mean, excuse me, a Celica. So that's the team. Let's see what happens. Get another song on here. Here we go.